Hey everybody, so yesterday Sam Sulek made what I consider to be the most highly anticipated competitive debut of any bodybuilder that I can recall. And I've been doing this a long time. This is the footage we had to go by yesterday. It was pretty awful. And a lot of people, millions of people on social media blasted him because they were basing his condition off this very dark, grainy footage taken from Lord knows how many rows back with maybe an iPhone 4, 5, 6, something like that. However, this morning, Muscle Contest, the official promoters of the event, released their footage. It still looks like it's an iPhone, but this looks like it was shot right from the judge's table, I think. And you can see here, Sam is actually in very good condition. His condition was not off. As previously, a lot of people were saying he wasn't even in shape. Flat, I still do believe he was flat. Basing this off how he looked prior to this, leading up. He did release a few videos in the lead up. He was out in Las Vegas all week, went to Dragon's Lair, went to some other gym, did some posing footage. He was definitely bigger and fuller, but he had to get down to classic weight, which for his height, apparently he has to be at least over 5'11". At least a tiny bit over, because the limit for up to and including 5'11", from 5'10" to 5'11", is 209. The limit is 217 for the NPC for classic physique if you are between anything a tiny bit over 5'11" and up to 6 foot. So we now know he's definitely a little bit over 5'11", maybe like a centimeter or something. That's how they measured him. And he does have flatter hair now, so that didn't make him any taller than with that bushy broccoli kind of hair that he had before. But definitely a better look here than what most people had assumed going from the footage that we had to go by. So give the kid his props. He did win the overall here. He did win the overall, which did qualify him. Actually, I think he only needed to place top 2 in his class to be able to do the Arnold Amateur, which is happening a week from next Thursday and Friday. So it's coming right up in Columbus, Ohio, where Sam's from. So it's going to be a nice hometown thing. He's also a massive, massive celebrity. This footage also was posted yesterday, and I believe it's the gentleman on the right, the bald guy, who was in Sam's height class that posted it. It was a video called Gator C, Sam Sulek versus Gator C judging. This was a little better. Not as good as what we just saw with the muscle contest footage, but this was a little better. Give you an idea, because you're seeing him against other guys, and this is a weak class, guys. It's no offense to the other guys. It's not a strong classic physique class. I've been to many NPC shows with much tougher classic physique classes than this, but that's, it's luck of the draw. You never know who's going to show up at any given contest, and it's still early in the contest season, so you're not going to get as many guys. Personally, I thought the bald guy, if Gator, if that's his name, I'm not sure. I thought he looked pretty good. I think he pushed Sam pretty hard. Not sure why they didn't have him in the middle, because I think he's closer to beating Sam than this guy on the left of him on screen here is. Of course, I wasn't there in person. You got to be there. But this is a pretty good indication. This looks like it was a few rows back, but a better phone. Maybe they had one of the i15 Pros, maybe a Galaxy. Who knows what kind of phone. But really, what you need for perfect footage is, a dedicated digital video camera. And those are not allowed at NPC events. You cannot have what they call professional photography. They do allow you to film with your iPhone. You are not allowed to live stream, because most of them have either they're having their own live stream that's a pay-per-view, or they have a professional videographer that's their official videographer, and you can buy the footage from them if you're a competitor or a family member or whatever after the show. The pictures were not up on NPC Online or NPC News Online yet of Sam, but I think these give you a pretty good idea of what he looked like. So I'm going to stand by what I said. I believe he's better off putting on more size and doing bodybuilding. I don't believe he has the ideal structure and shape for classic physique. None of these guys here do. These are just guys who didn't have enough mass for open bodybuilding. They were able to meet the height and weight requirements for classic. Sam, a little wide in the waist, doesn't have much of a V-taper as a result of that. Needs more triceps to balance out the biceps. I've said that before. Huge biceps, but the triceps should be twice the size of the biceps. And you can see in his front and rear double bicep poses that is not the case. However, I'm going to give this guy his props. Condition was right there. And he's going to tighten up a little more. He needs a lot of work on his posing. He did this all without a coach, which is puzzling to me because so many people would have loved to have coached him. I think even Stefan Kinzel made mention of it, but if he didn't, I'm sure he would have. Who wouldn't want to take on the most popular bodybuilder in the world? You know, maybe C-Bum has him on that, but the most C-Bum's retired. So he has more followers, Sam, than Samson Dauda, Hadi Chupan, any of those guys. Who wouldn't want to say I helped him with his first contest? I think it would be a feather in the cap of anybody, especially if you got him looking good. An opposing coach, again, any posing coach, and there are some really good ones out there. I know Kenny Wallach in Connecticut's very well known. You got Joey Beltran out in Vegas. There's a few really good posing coaches out there. They would all be very, very happy to help Sam with his posing because it's very amateurish, which, yeah, you would expect that at your first show. And people say he just needs to work on his posing. Well, he's not going to get any better working on it by himself because, you know, I could pick up a guitar and bang on it all day, every day. But unless I had someone to teach me how to actually play the guitar, I'm not going to get any better at it. You need to learn from someone who's very adept and experienced at it, which there's plenty of people out there who could help him. Now, I want to show you this, guys, real quick. This is last year's Arnold Amateur overall comparisons. So this is what Sam is going to go for. The only guy who gets a pro card out of this is the overall winner. And I'm pretty sure this guy in the middle ended up taking it. I wasn't there last year, but I think this guy in the middle who would have been, looks like they had 3 height classes. Obviously, there's only 3 guys up there. So if they had like an A, B, and C class or something, he would have been the medium height class. So let's call it a B class. I'm not sure if it was, but you could see I've seen better classic physique amateurs at this show in the past before. These guys aren't bad, of course, but one of them is going to go pro. I believe it ended up being that. So this is what Sam's up against. Guys with this kind of shape and structure that's more ideally suited for classic physique. Smaller waists, you know, more quad flare, more balanced and proportionate look to the physiques. This isn't great footage either, really. I'm sure the guys looked leaner than this if we had better footage to go by. But this is just to give you an idea of what he's up against because, you know, a lot of Sam's fans, they're Sam Sulek fans. They're not fans of the sport, so they don't really follow it. They don't know the rules or how things are structured. A lot of his fans seem to think yesterday's show turned him pro, which it did not. It was only a national qualifier, which means it earns you the right to go to a pro qualifier and try to turn pro there. So there are levels to this. And Sam is going to go to this. This is last year's version of it. He will be at the Arnold Amateur a week from Thursday and Friday, 27th to 28th of February. And this is the level of competition he will be up against. Remember, the Arnold Amateur is not a U.S. only show. There's really not that many Americans in the show. It's a lot of people from Europe, Asia, the Middle East, Canada, Australia, places like that. The world, basically. Just like the Olympia Amateur, it's open to anybody in the world who's qualified. And some of these guys are national champions. Some of these guys have been national champions more than once, and they've retained their amateur status, and they want to win it at a big show like that with a little more publicity, a little more recognition. Let's get to some of your comments and questions, guys. Sam Sulek in shape. Look at Christmas tree. Yeah. Well, see, I knew I knew he was in shape because you could see the videos, and maybe I'll pull one up later. You could see the videos that he posted earlier in the week from, you know, after his workouts. He was doing 4 days out, 5 days out. You can see the body fat was all gone. Maybe the glutes or something could have been striated, but classic trunks cover most of the glutes anyway. Yeah, I mean, Sam, obviously, he's a YouTube sensation, Jack. He's going to post everything in his video. The footage I saw on his video, I did skim through. It was not this good. It was also iPhone footage. It looked like it was from a little further back. Thank you, Smoke Dog. Thank you. Appreciate that. To be honest, it looks like early Arnold from the 70s. Look at the legs. Yeah, I mean, I see some of the Arnold actually had better biceps and triceps too. They were better than Sam's. And Arnold was Mr. Olympia by this age because I know everyone keeps saying he's so young. He's so young. He is young. 23 is very young. Don't get me wrong, guys. But Arnold at age 23 had won his first of what would eventually be 7 Mr. Olympia titles. Rich Gaspari was second in the Olympia at age 23. Lee Haney, I think, was third place at his first Olympia age 23, and then he won it the next year and won it 8 years in a row. Watch his video. I thought he clearly won. Yeah, I mean, I didn't. He was close. I think it was a close show. Nobody really blew anybody away in that class. Sam didn't really stand out as dominant in that class. he was good enough to win, but he didn't blow that show away. It's going to be the next big thing. Well, he's already a bigger thing in terms of popularity and success than just about any bodybuilder competing right now. I'm trying to think of anybody competing right now that has more fans and more makes a better income. I don't even think Samson makes more money than this kid, and doesn't have the following that he has. He's got so many followers. Check Sam's video. I skimmed through it. I was looking to see if the footage was any better, and it wasn't. But yeah, I didn't listen to it. But Sam's that's his bread and butter is YouTube. The majority of money he makes is on YouTube, and he's got how many subscribers? Good Lord. YouTube, almost 4 million subs on YouTube. That is incredible. That is elite level. His videos routinely get 500,000 to 1 million views. So the ball guy was an open too. Yeah. See, that's the thing. A lot of these people will do, Stephen, a lot of these people will do crossovers. So the bald guy, clearly, he can't be huge, because anybody that can make the weight for Classic at their height, they're not going to be a big bodybuilder, because, you'd be heavier. Like, so say Sam is 5'11", a little over, he has to be a little over 5'11" if he was eligible for that 217 weight. Sam, to be on stage as an open bodybuilder and really impressive, he's going to need a good 20 pounds, 30 pounds. I'm just being real with you guys. That's how much mass guys carry at that height these days. 217, which he was. Typically, you'll see that on guys who are shorter, in the 5'6" to 5'8" range. 5'9" maybe. Amazingly, Haney won his first Olympic 24 to see older than Sam. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, because I remember, I started following the sport during the Lee Haney era. And I was at the first Olympia I ever went to was 91, where Lee won his 8th Olympia and retired at only 31 years old. And to me, I was 21, so he was 10 years older than me. To me, Lee looked so much older. And, that's not a put down. He did have a little bit of receding hairline, but he looked very, very mature, let's say. He always looked mature because he always had kind of a high hairline. But yeah, I mean, it was a different era. Sam's got plenty of time on his hands. I don't know how far he wants to take this competitive thing, honestly. He's obviously going into this Arnold Amateur to turn pro. He's not competing for pure fun, for, hey, I got up there, I did it. He took it seriously, because if he didn't take it seriously, he wouldn't have gotten to this kind of condition. It's very difficult to diet down, even with all the drugs helping you as far as keeping the muscle mass. And he's probably on he doesn't disclose his cycles, which I find kind of admirable. So many guys, that's how they build a following now, is all they do is talk about the drugs they take. When people eat that up, because that's transparency and they're being honest. And I don't really see it helping anybody, because what are you going to do? You're going to copy his cycle and you think you're going to look exactly like him, whoever the athlete is? No. Genetics are key. And I don't know what Sam uses. I'm not even going to speculate, but he got into great condition. That's the important thing. And that's not easy to do, no matter what. In regards to yesterday's video, sent the video to the open guys were essentially pros. Huh? He was glad he got in the class he did. Well, I haven't seen the open guys, but they were not. I guarantee you, the guys competing in a regional NPC show were not pro level. They couldn't have all been. There's no way. They were bigger. I assume what he meant by that is they were bigger. They carried more mass on their frames, which Sam will. I mean, I heard he was 280 in the off season. So for him to go from 280 to 217, unless he was obese at 280, which I don't think he was, seemed like he dropped too much size for this. So he probably had more muscle and dieted away. I do know from watching Coach Greg Doucette's videos, he was doing 2 hours of cardio a day for the last few weeks. That will take muscle away from anybody. I don't care how much gear you're on. That's a lot. That's a lot of cardio. Cardio is, especially for the legs, doing 2 hours of cardio a day, it burns up the legs, man. You're not going to have the fullest legs you could possibly have if you're doing all that cardio. So maybe he'll stay leaner and lighter this time if he wants to keep doing Classic, which I don't think he should keep doing Classic. I see his future being brighter as an open bodybuilder with more mass. Beef up that back, beef up those triceps, a little more leg size. Biceps are great. Lower chest is thick as hell. Shoulders are great. A little more upper chest, because he does have a lot of thickness toward the bottom of the pecs. Just balance out the physique, make everything really flow, nice and pretty. Yeah. Kerry Garland, who is Derek Lunsford, Mr. Olympia, former Mr. Olympia, his bonus mom. That looked great for his first time on stage. Yeah. You'll be there, Carrie, obviously, because you're stepson. Derek is trying to get that win on the way back to trying to get his title back at the Olympia later this year. Yeah, so I knew people were going to blast him no matter what he looked like, unless Sam went up there looking like Chris Bumstead at his best. People were going to rip him to shreds because talk about high expectations. Sam has so many followers and so much popularity that, of course, that's going to breed a lot of envy, a lot of hate, especially among the older crowd, which I would know. I'm the older crowd. So a lot of people are like, what's all the big fuss? He doesn't look that great. It's his first show. Why is everyone so giving him so much publicity and attention? Well, it's a different era. It's a social media world we live in, guys. Social media is very powerful. Sam is a winner at social media, a champion at social media. He's got a massive following on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, which you're watching right now. Puts out amazing content that a lot of people can relate to and they look forward to seeing every day. He inspires and motivates tons of people. So yeah, there's going to be millions and millions of people who are anxiously awaiting and hoping he would do well, and equal amount of people, I'm sure, waiting to just rip him apart for any flaws they could possibly find. Mass whole muscle. I think his peak bulk was 270. Yeah, I mean, I can never. Well, even if it was 270, if it was rather than 280, it's 10 pounds. 270 down to 217. That's a big drop. Let's get some more posing up there. Put that up again. So this was 5 days out, just so we have something to look at. That was 5 days out at Dragon's Lair, I think that was, yeah. Heard he had dropped 30 pounds for the show. Or more than that. So if he was 270 at his peak, and this was 217, 2070, that's 50. He lost 53 pounds for this. And he might have been heavier than 270. People were telling me 280. I don't know. I don't follow him. Now we're seeing high 260s. Well, he's getting lighter and lighter. Everybody that posts. People were telling me 280 yesterday, and I don't follow him, so I was just taking their word for it. Let's prep for the arm be easier or hard now? Oh, I mean, it's an easy prep. It's only 10 more days. He could just do what he's doing, stay on his diet, stay in a caloric deficit, lose a couple more pounds of fat, get back on his cardio. I don't know if any coach stepped up. Maybe he'll say that in a video, volunteering to help him peak for the Arnold, because I do think he flattened out for this show yesterday. I don't know if it was a diuretic issue. Things weren't popping. A really good coach, there's a lot of great coaches, but Stefan Kienzel, boss of Outlaw, he did an amazing job with Sean Clarita last year, who at the Olympia, the 212 Olympia, came in really flat and over-dieted, depleted looking, not his best look at all. But he started working with Stefan immediately after that, and they went to the EVLS Prague show 3 weeks later, and he was back to the usual bursting full Sean Clarita. So somebody like that, and I'm sure Stefan would be very, very happy to work with him. Very happy. Like I said, what coach wouldn't want to say, oh, yeah, I prepped Sam Sulek, the world's most popular amateur bodybuilder probably ever, for this show. And I say ever because, yeah, we had guys in the past like Matt Mendenhall who were on magazine covers, but social media gives these guys a much better reach than they ever had back in the old days with magazines. Definitely a big drop, yeah. What his video talks about, during bulk, he was close to 270. He remembers jumping into water from high up and hurt. He mentioned his weight. Okay. So close to 270. Regardless, it's a big drop. He went down from, let's just call it 270. Let's round it off because probably in sneakers. So what do I know? I don't know. I mean, competing does give you an insight into a lot of aspects of it. So as heavy as 240. No. He was definitely up heavier than 240 carry. Definitely. I mean, these people that watch his videos, a lot of them pay close attention to what he says about his weight. Explain, a little skinny guy plays third. We're only three. No, there were four guys. I'd have to go back to the footage, but I'm guessing he was in better condition. Also, Discord needs to see this. Oh, he'll see it. Yeah, Matt will see this. Yeah, I usually go on. I started going on with Muscle Discord. I went on last Monday night with Matt and Phil Clayhar. We had a good talk there. Sam posted a video from peak bulk to show week. Listed by him was 276. Okay, so there you go, Alan. That's if Sam said he was 276, so he went from 276 to 217. It's been an old video if he was 240. Yeah, I remember 240 was, I want to say less. maybe last summer. I do watch his videos occasionally. I like the kid. I think he's got a great format for the videos. How you always know what you're going to get. He sets everything up in the car ride over to the gym, and then there's the training, and then there's always like a little bit of posing at the end. It's a very, very reliable, comfortable format. You know what you're going to get. But that being said, it's good stuff. So this video expects to be back to 2:30 by Monday. If he was, well, I don't know why he would want to go back 2:30 if he's got to compete again in Classic as an amateur a week from next Thursday. It wouldn't make any sense. So how is he 224 on show day? Because let me show you guys something. NPC Classic physique weight limit. Okay, let me show this to you guys. NPC height and weight requirements. Okay, I'll try to find his height. Okay, so let me show you why he could not have been 224 on show day. Okay, you ready? Let's go. Some of you do know the weight limits. Some of you don't. Okay, so Division C is over 5'10". I mean, they forget that. Just look at the weight. The heights and the weights. This is from NPC News Online, they're the official organization here. So up to and including 5'11", he would have to be 209 or less. Up to and including 6 foot. So if he's between 5'11" and 6 foot, which he must be, he had to be, what's that say, guys? 217. The only way he could have been 224 on show day is if he was between 6 foot and 6'1". And I don't think anybody is claiming Sam is 6 foot. I hear 5'11" over and over and over again. And he said he weighed in at 217, didn't he? Or 216? So yeah, he was not 224. How quickly did he drop the weight? I would have to watch all his videos to see if he gave that information. Jason Genova was secret coach. That would have been a pretty bad idea. He weighed in and made weight, sent a video and showed it. He was 224. Looks to be shot day of the show. Well, the thing is at the amateur shows, usually you weigh in that morning. They have check-ins for the athletes where everyone who's going to be in a weight class in bodybuilding, classic physique, the men's physique guys got to get their heights taken to make sure they're in the right height class. They usually do all that at athlete registration. Maybe that was done the night before, whatever. Maybe he carved up to 224. Yeah, you can eat after the weigh-in, but see, this has been like a big issue with the 212 competitors for years, going back to when it was the 202 division, is a lot of them who had trouble making the weight and they wanted to be as big as possible on stage. They would prefer that shows had the weigh-ins as far away as possible from when they had hit the stage. So say at the Olympia, the 212 Olympia, they have to be on stage sometime around 11 or 12 on Saturday for judging. A lot of times they would weigh them in on Thursday morning. So Thursday morning at 9 or 10 in the morning, they get their weight. They weigh in at 212. So now they have almost 48 hours to eat. And some of them would weigh in right at 212 or 211 and a half. And by the time they hit the stage, a lot of them would be closer to 220 because they'd start taking more fluids and they're carbing up. So yeah, the weight's kind of a weird thing to be over 217 on show day. So all that really matters is what you weigh when you weigh in. And I don't know when the weigh-ins for this particular NPC event were. Maybe they were the night before. It's different. There's promoters do it however they want to do it. You know, it can't be like days and days before. But sometimes they'll do it the day before, the night before. A lot of times they do it the day of, the morning of, just for convenience, because, you know, then people don't have to make a separate trip just to register and weigh in. They're already at the show. You weigh in, get your number, turn in your music, whatever, and you just hang around until it's time to go on stage, basically. Said he drank water and ate, but very little between prejudging and finals so he could hit the vacuum. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing is open bodybuilders will eat and drink more backstage because they're not worried about keeping the waist as small and tight as guys in divisions like men's physique and classic physique, where the midsection is really scrutinized. You can't have a bubble gut in men's physique or classic physique. You're done. They're not even going to look at you. So they have to be very cautious and only have little sips of water, little bites of food. They can't be having whole meals unless they know they have 2 hours or something. Because sometimes the way these shows run, you never know exactly when you're going to go on. you might have an idea. You can look at the order of the classes and go, okay, I'm going on they're doing women's bodybuilding first, then they're doing women's figure, women's bikini, women this, and then classic. So I have 5 classes before. You can sort of get it in your head how much time you have left, but a lot of times that's still a very rough estimate. You never want to have just finished a meal and then the expeditor goes, okay, men's middleweights, line up. Like, oh shit, I just ate. You're full. You never want to be full. You shouldn't really be eating full meals backstage anyway. Weigh-in was day before on his video. He shows, that's right. He posted the video. So he probably had a good 24 hours or so to eat up. So if he had to weigh in at 217 max, yeah, I could see where he could have filled out, a guy who's almost 6 foot, 217 to 224 is 7 pounds. Yeah, that's realistic. He still didn't look that full to me. He still wasn't popping the way he was in those videos leading up to it. I'll put one of those back up again. 4 days out. That was a different posing video. Sam looked great for his first show. Oh, 100%. I knew because of who he is and how successful he is, people were expecting so much for him. I mean, a lot of times we expect a lot of someone who won the Nationals or the USA at their pro debut, but I've never seen this kind of expectations and pressure put on someone who's doing their very first contest. But that's what comes with success. People expect you to knock it out of the park. A lot of people want to see you fail. It's just the way it is. If you're successful, you're gonna have haters. You're gonna have people that don't like you because they wish they were as successful as you, and they sort of hate themselves for not working as hard as they could have, or not taking a chance and going after dreams, whatever. The ball guy was in another class. He was class D, but they brought him out together. Sam still beat him in the overall. Yeah, because I did see footage of the overall on Sam's video, and I was wondering what the ball guy was there for. Channel has great footage uploaded 2 hours ago. So I guess we could go to that. Is that okay? Sam, is it okay if I go to your oh, Sam just said it was okay. So I'm going to go to his video, kind of mess around. Try to make sure I get the volume off. Yeah. I'm not going to full screen it because I don't want to get demonetized. So let's go to Sam's video. Just posted, and I was hoping Sam was going to have his own videographer at the show. This is iPhone footage. This is just taken with an iPhone. I can tell. I thought Sam's videographer would have been allowed to film this with maybe some special permission. But no, I guess not. Because whoever was filming it for Sam, this is the same iPhone footage that we've seen variations from a few different people who were at the show. We've seen it from them. Yeah. Can I make it bigger? Sure I can. Nope, I didn't want to do that. So, okay, so these 3 guys, so he only had to beat 2 guys to win his class. And then the bald gentleman, sorry, I don't know your name. Look, his glutes are in that guy. He was in great shape. So I'm looking at this. I don't know if I would have had Sam beating that guy. I don't know. I don't know. It's close. I don't know if Sam should beat that guy for the overall. So Sam had to beat these 2 guys on the left. Had to beat those guys to win the class, and then beat 2 other guys. And this is one of them. The bald gentleman was a different class, and they just threw him out there. Let's see. Shows great footage. That's it. We're looking at it. I saw some people expecting to look like Lee Priest did 23. Well, I mean, what's unrealistic about it? I mean, I agree. I think 23 is very young. Don't get me wrong. And Lee was a prodigy. There's not many people who look that great at 23 like Lee Priest did. But like I said, he doesn't have a job. That's what a lot of people are pointing out. He's got nothing else to do except bodybuild. He makes his YouTube videos and he eats and he trains. That's it. That's all he does. So, and he has access. He's got a lot of money. He's got access to any PED that he wanted. I'm sure he could get. If he wanted any top coach, he could pay for it, or I'm sure most of them would be very happy to coach him for free, just for the honor of coaching Sam. Sam looked the best hands down overall. Go to that. Let's go to the overall. Shrink that down again. Where is the overall? Okay, so see awards. Tim winning class. And the overall is going to follow this. Sam learns how to pose. His quads. I think he was just forgetting to pose him. That's a huge rookie mistake, is you're focusing on posing and you forget about your legs. You're so focused on what you're doing with your upper body. Thank you for asking, Robert. I will definitely be having a watch party for the Arnold. If you go to arnoldsports.com, you can register for the free pay-per-view sponsored by ESN, but I will be doing a watch party. I hope to have Giles Thomas and Big Mike Cox. Maybe even the Goon might join in. We'll see. Yeah, we're looking at the overall right now. So these are the other two height class winners that Sam beat out for the overall. I bet you it was very close between him and the tall guy, the bald guy. Look at those glutes. That guy was dialed in. And he has a pretty good shape, pretty good size. Also great from the front, some backside needs work. Yeah, he needs a thicker back. Sam's back is it's not as thick as it needs to be. Let's put it that way. You know, I'm being critical because he's going to be going up against a much higher level of competition than this. This is decent level of competition. It's not what you'd see at the national level. You know, if you go, Arnold Amateur is going to be pretty good. If you go to the USA or the Universe or the North American or the NPC Nationals, those are tough shows. I mean, Sam would have anywhere from 30 to 50 guys in his class. Classic physique lineups are huge these days. They're much bigger than the bodybuilding classes. Many more guys are choosing classic physique to compete in over bodybuilding these days. It's a more popular division, especially among younger guys. They seem to prefer it. Ball guy was on, probably should have won. I mean, if I'm watching this, and I don't care, I say this because I don't care if I know Sam or not, but it's very close between these two, and I probably would have given it to the ball guy. Ball guy's legs aren't the greatest either. They're shredded, don't get me wrong. But I'm saying they could be a little fuller, a little more sweep. I don't see a lot of sweep to them. And the guy with the man bun, he looks good. He's just a smaller guy. Sam has good back genetics. I mean, the rear lat spread looks good. He looks good in a rear lat spread. When he hits that rear double, it's not that impressive. There's not a lot of thickness. It's tough to have. You need to have a lot of back thickness to show a thick back in a rear double bicep. Samson, you would have chosen him too. Yeah, Sam only went full time pretty recently. I don't know. I think he's been full time on YouTube for at least a couple of years. Do you know if he's ever had another job? I mean, I don't know. I don't think he has. Abs. Yeah, he's got he does have a really good midsection. Bald guy looks bigger, wider in the waist. The classic. Yeah, it's a classic show, but classic has a lot of people at the amateur level who, to me, they're just bodybuilders who aren't big enough to do well in bodybuilding because they're outmassed for their height. So they do classic. Bald guy looks bigger. Yeah, I'm not the bald guys. I'm not saying I don't like the way he hits that pose either. The bald guy. He needs to spread that out more. It's close. I don't know if I necessarily would have given it. I would have to be sitting there with the judges and really figure it out. But I'm not saying the ball guy was robbed. I'm not saying Sam got any special treatment. I'm hearing people say they're going to give him the Arnold Amateur win just because he is who he is. He's so popular. No, I don't think that's going to happen. He's going to have to earn it. He's going to have to be the best on stage that day. And he might be. I don't know who's showing up. Yeah, he's not going to watch this video, Samson. I guarantee you. Skip the ad. I'm not going to watch all your ads, Sam. How dare you? Yeah, he needs a posing coach. His posing is very rough around the edges. It's a classic show. He made weight at 216. Yeah, he could have been 217 at the highest. And I guess he carved up. He had about 24 hours between weigh-ins and stage, and he was able to load up and hit the stage around 224 apparently. I see his future. If he wants to keep competing, open bodybuilding is the way to go for him as a super heavyweight. Yeah, I hope you join me on that watch party for sure. Sam should have done the double pistol pose like Genova. Now that we know more about why he went in that class, how his weight is fluctuating, you still think he'd go to open? Yeah, no, he should go open only because structurally he does not have a very pretty structure. Look at the classic pros. Do I have to show you guys what the good classic pros look like? Good classic pros, they have just beautiful, pretty shape. Sam doesn't have that pretty shape with a tiny waist, small joints, wide clavicles, like a Bumstead. Think Bumstead. He doesn't have those kind of genetics. But in open bodybuilding, if you put on enough mass and you're proportionate, you can do pretty well. The Classic show, I agree with the results have been bodybuilding. I believe the bald guy's better. Yeah, apparently the bald guy did bodybuilding in this show as well. Who knew? Early prediction: wins the Arnold Tour, gets the invite to next year Classic show and wins. Why not? He's not going to win the Arnold Classic Pro Classic Physique. No, he's not. He's never going to do that. And you can roast me all, call me a hater. He does not have the genetics to be a. He could squeak by somehow and get a Classic Pro card somehow, some way. But when you're at the pro level, shit, then you're going up against, good Lord, you know, Ramondino, Urs Kalaczynski, Mike Sommerfeld, Breon's gone. You know what I'm saying. Urs, it's a lot of amazing competitors with great genetics, small waist, just beautiful, perfect shape. He doesn't look like that. He doesn't look like that. It's definitely a Brit. Says, what are you on? What are you on? I'm on crack. The bald guy has zero shape and bubble gut. It's Classic, not open. Yeah, that's the meathead bodybuilder in me looking at him like, yeah, he doesn't hold his gut in there. All right, Sam wins fair and square. I had no problem. I wasn't arguing that Sam won like he got a gift. He didn't have a job, but he was in school. Yeah, he was in engineering. He was got to be a very intelligent. I've known engineers. I've known a few engineers in my time. A few of my friends have engineering degrees. My niece has an engineering degree, and my son-in-law has an engineering degree. So they're very intelligent people. Very intelligent people. Legs are good. He's not posing properly. Yeah. His overall posing needs a lot of work, and any good posing coach could do wonders with him in just a few sessions. He had been studying in university. I think he's all done with that. Who works anymore? Yeah, that's the old model of society. He'll be back. He'll be back in 10 days. Sam was working construction while saying, okay. So that's the last job he had. You know, whatever, if you're getting paid to do something, that's a job. You know, you're getting paid. I think he wants Push to get big enough to really hang it open. Inside interested in this latest video. Yeah, I mean, this might be the only time he ever competes. Sam Sulek, you just got to keep staring, it'll gravitate. He might never compete again after this. Who knows? You know, he might be a one and done or a two and done in this case, where it was a goal he had. He wanted to challenge himself, get in the best possible condition he could, and win. He's already won his first show. How many people can say they win their class and the overall at their first show? He did that. Arnold Amateur is going to be a lot more difficult, but you know, depending on who else is there that day, he might win the Arnold Amateur and turn pro. I don't see him competing as a pro or doing well, I should say. To show you again, this was what the Arnold Amateur guys looked like last year. These are the three class winners at the Arnold Amateur in 2024 in Classic Physique. Sorry, I don't know their names. Looks like we got three different height classes. You could see the guy on the right, the African gentleman, or wherever he's from, I don't know. He's the short class, clearly. This is the medium class in the middle, and the guy on the end looks like he's about an inch taller, so he must be the tall class. But this is roughly the level of what he's going to be facing at the Arnold Amateur if he wants to win that. And remember, only the overall winner at the Arnold Amateur gets a pro card. It's not like some of these shows where the top two in every weight class get a pro card. It's not that. Arnold Amateur is a little more selective of who they grant pro cards to. So these were last year's winners. Bro DeVilla, and like, Excusezilla. Who's Excusezilla? Neckzilla? Thinks he'll get top 10. Oh, yeah, he'll be top 10. I mean, I can't foresee there being more than 20 or 30 guys in his class at the most, and his condition will carry him a long way, and he's going to work on his posing. Somebody's going to help him with his posing between now and then. He'll pose much better. He'll probably be leaner. Depends on who shows up. That's every show. Yeah, I always say that. All you can ever do as a competitor is get in the best shape possible, and that's it. Present yourself the best you can. Nice tan, smile on stage, and depending on who else shows up and stands next to you on that stage on that day, you'll either win or you won't win. But you've done everything you could do. All right, guys, that's enough of that. I'm gonna get rid of that. All right, so that was today's video, guys. Sam Sulek, I won't say redeemed himself, because he looked a lot better than people thought he did. But this new footage sort of redeemed him in the light of a lot of people's eyes, because it shows his condition was a lot better than that crappy, grainy footage we were all looking at would have indicated. He was in very good condition. I think he was a little on the flat side, but he did this without a coach. It was his first show. For his first show, Sam Sulek looked phenomenal. He pulled off an overall win. That's not easy to do either. So props to this kid, Sam Sulek, kid, young man. I keep calling him a kid. That's my bad. And we'll be anxiously awaiting how he does in the Arnold Amateur in a couple weeks. Not even a couple weeks. It's 10 days away. So we'll see how he does. But props to Sam. He did a great job on his very first show, and he shared the whole prep experience with millions and millions of people. I'm wishing him the very best. Thanks to you guys for watching. Appreciate it. See you later.